Listen to this for a second. A pot of cold water, a single strip of dark kelp at the bottom. The cook just watches as it warms, and right before it boils, pulls the kelp out. Then a cloud of smoky fish flakes goes in, settles, and within seconds gets gently strained away. The whole thing is over in minutes. What's left is pale gold, clear enough to read through. Here's what reframes it. What looks like soaking seaweed and fish in hot water is actually one of the most precise techniques in all of Japanese cooking. And the language tells you so right away. Cooks don't make dashi, they draw it. In Japanese, preparing dashi has its own verb, hiku, to pull, to draw out. And that's not an accident. The cook's job isn't to impose flavor onto the ingredients, it's to draw out what's already inside them, then step aside. The water becomes the vehicle. The essence becomes the flavor. This is what people mean by the art of subtraction, where French cooking adds butter, cream, long reductions. Japanese cooking subtracts, stripping things back until the ingredient's natural flavor is as clear as possible. Dashi is the purest version of that idea, a stock that tastes of almost nothing and everything at once. So what does the cook actually need to feel? It comes down to temperature, and to timing you can't really write down. Kombu turns bitter the moment it boils. There's a critical threshold around 80 degrees Celsius, and crossing it ruins the stock. So watching the water, sensing that exact moment to pull the kelp out before the bubbles arrive, that's not fussiness, that's necessity. It's judgment that lives in the hands and the eyes, not in a manual. Let me walk you through how it actually happens. The most fundamental version, called awase dashi, a combination stock made from just two things: kombu, which is dried kelp, and katsuobushi, which is skipjack tuna that's been dried, fermented, and smoked until it's hard as wood. Step 1. The kombu goes into cold water, and the cook brings it up to heat slowly, gently, never rushing. This slow warming is what coaxes the kombu's flavor out cleanly. And then right before the water boils, the kombu comes out. That's the make or break moment we just talked about. Too late, and the whole pot turns bitter. Step 2. Now the katsuobushi goes into that near boiling liquid. The flakes are allowed to steep briefly, and notice the cook does not stir. Stirring would cloud the stock and pull out bitterness. So they just let it sit, let it release what it has, and that's it. Step 3. The liquid is strained gently through a cloth. And here's the part that surprises people. You never press or squeeze. The instinct is to wring out every last drop, but squeezing would cloud the liquid and introduce bitterness. The ingredients have given what they're going to give. You let them go. What's left is ichiban dashi, first dashi, pale gold, faintly aromatic, transparent enough to read through. That's the stock for clear, delicate soups. And nothing gets wasted. Those same kombu and katsuobushi go back into fresh water for a longer simmer, producing niban dashi, second dashi, fuller and earthier, perfect for miso soup and simmered dishes. And even after that, the spent ingredients get simmered with soy sauce and mirin into tsukudani, a little preserve, or folded into rice. Everything an ingredient has to give, you draw it all out. So why does this matter so much? Why is dashi treated as the heart of the whole cuisine? Because of what's happening underneath, and Japanese cooks understood it through practice for over 1,000 years before science could explain it. In 1908, Professor Ikeda took 12 kilograms of dried kelp and extracted about 30 grams of crystals. That compound was glutamic acid, and he named the taste umami, literally delicious taste. It took Western science nearly 100 years to catch up. The actual umami receptors on our tongues weren't even identified until 2002. And here's the magic the cooks already knew. Kombu has the highest natural glutamate of any food in the world. Katsuobushi is rich in a different umami compound, inosinate. And when you combine those two distinct compounds, which is exactly what awase dashi does, the umami doesn't just add up, it multiplies. Studies suggest the effect can amplify perceived umami by a factor of 7 or more. That's the whole reason kombu and katsuobushi together are so much greater than either one alone. This is shokunin spirit, the Japanese ideal of the craftsperson devoted to mastering one thing completely. And the knowledge is so central that UNESCO registered washoku, traditional Japanese cuisine, as intangible cultural heritage in 2013 with dashi at its core. When you shortcut it, when you replace real dashi with a cheap substitute, something goes missing that you can't quite name, but you feel it instantly. So what does all that precision actually produce? Set a bowl of good miso soup in front of someone new to it and ask them to describe the taste. They'll struggle. It's savory, but not like meat broth. It's warm and round and somehow present without being assertive. It makes you want another spoonful without quite knowing why. The flavor feels less like something added than something revealed. That's dashi doing its job. It's architecture, not decoration. In its presence, miso tastes more fully like miso, tofu more fully like tofu, vegetables more fully like vegetables. It reduces the need for salt and fat because it's already done the work of making everything taste complete. This is not just a stock. It is a philosophy made liquid, the conviction that the deepest flavors aren't added but drawn out. If you want to go deeper into the craft and the people behind it, we've covered everything in detail over at Waden, the full technique, the history, and the producers. Link in the description. See you next time.